Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast number 204. I'm your host, David Palermo, and on the line today with us is Kyle from BangedUpBills.com and Banged Up Bills on Twitter. What he does is he follows all the Bills injuries, goes a lot more in depth, and writes about it. Today we're talking about Josh Allen's elbow injury and really what's going to happen with it. As always, we're brought to you by Punch Drunk Sports, and follow us along on NumbBillsFan.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even up on YouTube. You might catch an occasional video, so get up on it. All right, as promised, on the line is Kyle Trimble from BangedUpBills.com, Banged Up Bills on Twitter. And Kyle, you want to say what's up? Then I could talk over you.
How you guys doing tonight?
See, that's Kyle right there. So I'm your host, David Palermo, as you heard on the intro, if I remember to put that in there after the segment's done. And Kyle's account, Banged Up Bills, came out of nowhere. And in pre-roll, I kind of teased this a little bit, Kyle, but like very impressed. Thought it was genius. I was like, this is genius, because I need to know my damn injury reports from somebody who might know what the hell they're talking about. So, what inspired you to make this? Because I've seen you said you dropped your Twitter around February, and I was gonna say, like, you gained traction quick, because I didn't want to say, hey, how long? I didn't want to come on here and talk out my ass and go, yeah, yeah, he came on over. Oh, I've had my Twitter for 7 years. I was an egg for about 2, and like I slowly built it up to where I am now. So I'm glad that I asked you how long you've been around. But so, if you want, dude, you can have the floor, and then for a sec, just let us know, like, how'd you start this, and then we'll get into Josh Allen.
Okay, so just give a little background. I went to school in Buffalo, went to U of L. I graduated in 2013. I've worked in a variety of different physical therapy settings, so I feel I'm fairly well-rounded to talk about lots of injuries, the course of the injuries, what they're looking for, and just generally how to treat them. I started Banged Up Bills as a result of actually talking with our friends over at the Rock Power Report. I got talking to Drew and Chris over Twitter. They were talking about just generalized injuries. I told them I was a physical therapist and that, I'd be open to talking with them. So this is back in 2016. I got one in their show. You really should go check it out in their archives if you have a chance to. And then that kind of just got me thinking. I was looking at stuff online, and I was just seeing, hey, there's not really a content out there regarding the specific sports injuries. You might see it from a more general standpoint from fantasy, but just to look at what these injuries are, what they cover, and how long they're going to be out, you didn't really get the information from, WGRZ, WGR, Channel 4, Channel 7, wherever you get your local news from. They would just report this is such injury, but they wouldn't give any details. So I said, I know enough about this stuff. I'm going to start writing about it. So I put some feelers out and kind of got shut down the first few places I looked, and I said, hell with it. I'm going to go out and start doing my own thing. So I started a WordPress account, started typing, and it's been like that since August of 2017. And then I got hooked up with the guys over at Grandstand Sports when that was going on through Cover One. And that's where things really started taking off and really seeing things progress and get a little more professional about it. So it's all been organic and just trying to grow from there and just try to be a resource for the Bills Mafia or the Bills fans, whatever you want to call yourselves, to kind of keep you guys off the ledge and give you a sense of here's what's going on.
I'll say what's really cool is you mentioned Eric at Cover One and Grandstand Sports Network, that him and Chad, their head going on from Chad from what is his podcast? I'm drawing a blank. The Sabres podcast, really good.
Die by the Blade.
Yes. So, I love what you said about just like, yeah, I'm just going to do it myself. And that's like my whole belief. So I don't have like any ads for mid-roll, because I'm not giving away 2 minutes of my airtime to boost your big ass corporation so I could get like 70 cents. Like, I would rather go take a piece of wood and frankly piss on it and draw my name on it or a Bills logo and see if somebody would buy it and put it in their like bathroom or something, you know, like underneath the urinal and put some soap on it to pee on. I don't know. Like, I would rather do that and sell one of those for the whole year than like sell my soul for that. And it's like, what's cool about this whole thing with the Rock Power Report and Eric Turner with Cover One and all these people is you can really, like, we've all helped each other out in a way. Like Rock Power Report, those guys, we've dinged ideas back and forth a few years ago, especially my other guy, Adam Deacon. And then, you know, Eric Turner was getting into podcasting and Adam helped him get that set up too and bounce the stuff off of me. And it's like, you know, the podcast is actually a really easy thing for me because I would love to write. So like a lot of respect to you because I personally love writing. It's just the OCD factor, at least the audio, it's out there. I forget about it. It's like when you hire a painter to paint your house, you don't want to worry about it, you know, because you're going to go crazy. So even though I do paint houses, like interiors, so, and I'll just beat myself up with the OCD instead. It's just kind of a thing, you know, where it's a great community where everybody helps each other. We're not afraid to like share secrets because it's not secrets. No one's making $1 million covering the Bills. But one thing you are doing, which is great, is you're going beyond the single layer of it, which is what you and I were talking about pre-roll here, which is just like we're just so sick of this just like lame, you know, coverage. And you gave the great example of, you know, the radio call is so much better. I was having to grab the hand radio in Syracuse to listen to Murph while watching a game at a bar, and you're mentioning how like Nick O'Leary, like who cares that his grandfather was Jack Nicklaus? We don't need to hear that every game on the TV, you know. And it's like it's nice to have like these deeper conversations and to finally have a medical person like yourself, Kyle. That's just that's like seriously, it's a godsend. I'm not a religious person, but like I would say it's a godsend for the fan base, really.
Well, I know there's a need that's out there. Somebody's got to fill it. I might as well be that guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, how now? Are there a lot of times when you're watching these games that you could see a dude limp off and you have a general idea, or off a replay, or is it not really like that?
It varies. So sometimes you can see how the guy is limping off, and then maybe catch one replay and say, okay, boom, that's exactly what happened. And then maybe I'll go watch it later and then confirm it. Other times you gotta have to watch it a few times, or you might say that's a leg, but I really don't know what he did. And even with the replay, it's not that clear. So sometimes you need all 22 to really identify what it is, or you need to slow it down just so you can catch the actual injury occurring, because everything in football is bang bang. So it's really hit or miss. Thankfully, we have DVR and rewind that we can get in there. But sometimes I just have to wait and see what gets reported, because we've seen where guys really kind of come out with nothing, and it turns out to be something bigger later on. So have a toss up at times.
Okay, so I have a personal question then for myself. It's gonna get weird here, Kyle. So I play men's hockey, and a week ago, I skate out of control. I'm new. I've only been playing for like 3 years, but I try hard. I got wheels, but I'm, again, wobbly. I don't know about wobbly. Just you could just tell. Okay, at least I feel that way. So I go around the net, around our own zone, and I go behind the net from the left to the right, and I end up, we're playing the premature shooters, a team out here on Tuesday, and this girl's in my path, and I literally plowed over her, and her helmet, I feel like her helmet, I did the thing that you do with the football where you land on it, but it was like her helmet on my ribs, and okay. I think I might be able to catch you a replay. But dude, I tell you what, like I said, I do construction. If I lift up a bucket, oh my God, could I have done something serious? It's hard to cough. It's hard to sneeze. It sucks. I don't want to stop playing hockey. I played the next night. I'm going to play tonight. I'm going to play tomorrow night. But I don't know if I'm going to die. Am I going to die? Am I going to be okay?
I don't think you're going to die based off of what you're telling me there. However, without examining you, I couldn't really tell you too much what's going on. You could have hit the ribs. You could have hit some internal organs. You could have hurt the abdominal region. Without doing a fuller exam, I wouldn't be able to tell you too much what's going on. But
so
if you're
what
afraid
would the
you're
test be for me to get that checked out? What's that one called?
What, to get your ribs and stuff checked out?
Yeah.
I would suggest an X-ray if you think you have broken ribs. That's about the only way you're gonna really tell that.
Huh.
So along with a physical examination to see what's going on there.
Huh. Maybe I can get like a health insurance sponsor for the podcast, and they can hook me up, and we could do all that. That'll be like really awesome.
Yeah, a little Blue Cross Blue Shield action, right?
Yeah, I know you're listening. Kyle's in on it too. He's got a great website, and you can hook him up and his whole family for 30 years. So,
perfect.
What do you think about this Josh Allen thing? I thought, you can't say he's literally getting killed. It's more like he just doesn't know how to step up in the pocket. He doesn't know how to manipulate the pocket. The offensive line is actually progressing. And what happened. It's the same thing that happened to Mariota was the scare. We're hearing Tommy John. Now we're hearing. So you would know, you're the expert compared to me on this, especially. So like, what is the latest? And if you want to go through the progression, you saw it, you heard about it. If you want to, have the floor for a minute, and I'll let you just do your thing.
Okay. So I'm over at my buddy's house watching it, and you see him get hit hard. Now you watch him get hit from Clowney on the left, Merciless on the right, and he gets banged up pretty good. They go to the next play. I'm not really thinking too much at all. You see him just get hit. And then he throws that really weak ball. It just looked ugly. And then you start seeing him go down and realize, hey, something's not right. You start seeing replays, start seeing that there's something more to it. You go back to look at replay. Well, you saw the elbow got hit off the helmet. Well, I'm thinking contusion at this point, which is just basically a hard hit, a bruise, if you will. And you might just be able to shake it off, knee series. I'm also thinking similar to Mariota, where he had his ulnar nerve, or the funny bone. That's the nerve that kind of goes up underneath your elbow, and it's pretty open in regards to if you do hit it there, versus if you have muscles and other tissue protecting that nerve. And then you start seeing, hey, he's not coming back in. What's going on here? And maybe you're thinking, well, this is maybe just precautionary. Then you start seeing that they're ordering an MRI afterward, thinking, okay, well, that might just be a day-to-day thing. They want to make sure everything's okay in there. And then you go back at the replay the next day and thinking, well, this is a little bit worse than you thought. You see the hyperextension because Merciless comes up underneath the elbow and really jacks it up because he doesn't have any control as the arm's coming up. So thinking, okay, a little bit worse, still okay. And then you start seeing that, they're talking week to week. Well, that's coach speak. I'm not too concerned about that. And then you saw the video from Thad Brown. That's where everybody got thrown off. We're talking Pro Football Doc, me, I'm trying to think who else does the injury stuff. But basically anybody that's covering injuries, they're all thrown off by this. Not that we couldn't have diagnosed off of that original hyperextension, but
I did not even see it.
The Thad Brown video.
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're looking at his quality of his ulnar collateral ligament. That's the ligament on the inside portion of the elbow. They're looking to see whether it's damaged or not. So they're doing what's called milking technique or valgus stress test. So they get the arm in external rotation, which is the position that pitchers get cocked up back in before you throw. And they take the elbow through the range of motion as they're putting pressure on the wrist to see whether there's any discomfort through the elbow. But of course, when you watch the video, you see him go down in pain, signifying there's some type of injury to the area, indicating instability. So once we all saw that, we said, hey, there's something more to this than that. Then you start thinking ulnar collateral ligament or the Tommy John. Now, when you start mentioning Tommy John, you start thinking baseball. You start thinking the fact that this could be not a season-ending thing, but more than a year and a half thing. However, reports came out tonight that Josh Allen did see Dr. James Andrews. He's probably one of the most respected orthopedic surgeons in the country, if not the world, when it comes to sports medicine. So this guy, he said that he doesn't need surgery. He just needs time to rest and rehab. So if this guy's saying he doesn't need surgery, then he doesn't need surgery. Now, if he comes back too fast, that could change things. But the way Josh Allen's perceived in Buffalo, he's not coming back until he can do the job. So that's kind of where we stand at with things. But he's just going to need a few weeks to kind of really just rest. The one upside is football compared to baseball. Football, you're doing a lot less reps. You're throwing a different motion, throwing a lot slower, and you have more breaks in between each throw there. Baseball, they're throwing as hard as they can with immaculate control, probably 3 or 4 times as many throws as compared to football, and they're going more often. If you're playing football weekly, you're pitching every 5 days there, so a lot more wear and tear on that joint. So those people that are worried about surgery, there's just a less likelihood because you're just doing it a lot less than a pitcher. I'm thinking Allen, they're saying 2-3 weeks for him being out, but I'm thinking it'd be smart to let him sit out until after the bye. That way you get him in there after the bye while he's almost 6 weeks to heal, and he has time to kind of digest what he's been seeing on the field rather than rushing him out there for, frankly, I don't know. He would come back for the Jets game if reports are accurate. I don't know why you'd rush him back out for the Jets game to have him sit then for a bye week. Let him rest.
And you could always just have the defense play offense anyway. So
that too. Prinzel Alexander does have history, so why not?
Isn't that funny? So I was really shocked to see that Thad Brown video last night. I did see it. I retweeted it. I'm dumb. Mm-hmm. Okay. I did see that, and I'm like, uh-oh. I was like, oh, no, because he goes down. And as somebody who throws a lot of things out of anger, I will say, as a kid, I developed a thing on my shoulder where, like, after throwing a lot, I just feel like I might just throw like my motion stupid, like where I apply my strength in it, like in a golf swing,
Yeah.
And I swear, even to this day, I might have burned out my shoulder or something. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that technically means. Like, what does it mean when you burn out your shoulder? It still hurts. If I throw for a bit, it just starts killing me, and I don't even know why.
That could be a rotator cuff injury. That could be a labral tear. It just all depends on what's going on there and how you react.
Is that what it is? Is a burning out of the arm? What happens when they say you burn out an arm?
Once again, you'd have to kind of get more specifics than just general burning out, but it just depends on what is causing the fatigue in there. You could have a labral tear, which is the cartilage that kind of helps keep the humerus in the shoulder, acts like the golf tee with a golf ball sitting in it. It could be a rotator cuff where the series of muscles help you make those throwing motions. If they're torn or fatigued, you get more like a dead arm. You could have that. It just really depends on what's going on in there. But you need a further evaluation to identify the exact structures that are causing that problem.
So now, have you ever looked into, this is on the surface level, so I'm going to get this out of the way. On the surface level, it's not what it was during the Bush era, so I'm not trying to say that, but you ever look into the stem cell stuff yet?
I've read in a little bit of that stuff. That stuff is right now, I believe there's definitely promise with it, but I don't think we quite know the full effects of it. I know that there's platelet rich plasma. I believe that's the correct term.
Are you a podcast fan? Do you listen to many podcasts at all?
Yeah, I do listen to podcasts.
You ever heard the one with, there's a few I can refer you to that talk about this. I'm only up on it because Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, and that's kind of my way of getting through my monotonous day of life for 8-9 years minus Bill's talk was that. And if you listen to the Mel Gibson one, he has Mel Gibson as doctor, and they break down from the start of stem cells to where they're at now. It's incredible, and really that's all the conversation's about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, if you haven't caught it, it's really informative, and it's at a point where I did some research myself. There's a doctor in Vegas that Joe Rogan goes to where, I'm looking at a few guitar amps in this thing, and I'm kind of thinking like, maybe I'll sell a couple things, save some money, and get some treatments, because I'm trying to pretty much revamp even construction of just like learning how to outsource, talk to people who already do it, like mentors, and not mentors, but pick their brain. How can I work less so that my body's in shape to play hockey till I'm 50 and 60 and do things and enjoy life, So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, trust me, you're going to talk to me for a long time. So I'm going to ask you the dumbest crap ever, but I think the audience really likes to have things broken down, Kyle. So is there anything else you want to tell us about? Anything that we should look out for before I let you go, or whether it's content, injuries, how awesome it is the Bills aren't really injured? What did you think about Trent Murphy? What's your take on him? I don't like the term injury prone because, like, I don't think Marcus Goodwin is injury prone. I feel like his last time he got really injured was second last year in Buffalo. A dude belly flopped on him, and in the preseason from the Steelers, like a defensive tackle on his ribs. So. That's kind of just dumb.
I don't like the term injury prone either. I think sometimes it's all about how the preparation is and how you get ready for the season. If you're not putting the work into it, then there's a higher likelihood you're going to get hurt. But it's not like you're doing everything perfectly and you still get hurt. That would be defined as injury prone, but I don't think that's the case there. In the case of Trent Murphy, I think that he tried rushing back because he wanted to prove that he could – he was back after the ACL tear, and he had cost himself the entire preseason because of groin injury. But he's really coming on as of late. He's been doing pretty well. He's still getting banged up a little bit here and there. I think he suffered a small ankle injury on Sunday's loss, but I don't think it's anything that's going to hold him back. But he's starting to really round into form, and I'm happy so far with the returns that he's been seeing.
That defensive line is just phenomenal. I was going to say, I meant to say it on Locked On Bills, but I'll say it on another couple podcasts. Like, this Bills, the Bills' depth all of a sudden on defense has just come out of nowhere, because I'll tell you what, they look like they could play like another quarter, the defense at the end of the game. Like they're not tired. Whereas Dick Sharon had awesome defense with the most pathetic offense we've seen until now, actually. And believe it or not, what's funny about that is his teams would get tired, if you remember, but at least for the last 3.5 games-ish, 4.5 games, we've seen some good Bills football on defense, like really good. But again, I got to see a quarterback that can throw the ball quick like Tom Brady. I got to see a few more guys before I start anointing Hall of Fame jackets across the whole line. So
Absolutely. Yeah, the offense is behind, but they know that losing Incognito and Wood did hurt them. So they know that that's the thing to address, but they got to continue building up depth because that's what got them to the playoffs last year, is having that depth, rotating guys in and out, so you're not missing a beat when that starter does go down, such as EJ Gaines did last year. Or, I'm trying to think who else went there. Dean Marlowe was able to step up off the practice squad despite Micah Hyde and Raphael Bush going out. So it's like next man up mentality, and that's why the defense is doing so well, because that guy is ready to go, and unfortunately it's not the case for the offense.
Yeah, it's just like, my whole shtick with this podcast has always been, what's the logic? And I value draft picks because as Bills fans, we're marketed certain things when the team sucks. We are sold why to buy in every year if the team is going to suck, okay? And one of the things they talk about is accountability from Doug Marrone. They talk about how important draft picks are. It's the cheapest way to build your team. Okay, cool. Well, you spend a lot of picks on 2 guys, and it's like, well, that's cool. I think they could be really good players, but like, if you're a head coach going into year 2 and you're with your brand new general manager and you want sustained success affordably, the best way to get top-notch talent is through, I believe, your first 3 rounds of the draft especially. And you spend 5 picks on 2. And it's just a logic podcast. That's really all this is. It's just like, all right, well, how's this going to work out? And now, because I'm so sick of the wheel of quarterbacks changing and coaches, and it's like, now it might be front office, I think should be, frankly, because they just don't have foresight, like it's weird. It's just really, really weird. It's a different, I've honestly never had such a hard time with the team. like in a long time. Like since Duran, it's like I've never felt dumber. I don't know if you get it, if you feel that way, but sometimes I feel like I'm dumb when I watch like a McDermott press conference. Like he's talking to like toddlers sometimes. It's like, dude, give me more detail about the injury. And he like abruptly left like Chauvin Bulldog.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Did you hear that?
His job's to report the injury. He's not going to know the details. He might have been told the details, but he's not going to know the details that I'd be able to report on regarding, hey, this is what this injury is. Here's what happens, etc. He's going to say, so-and-so has this injury. Next question. Week to week, days.
Yeah.
That's all he knows.
Well, Kyle, anything else, bud?
I mean, just continue to watch out for their articles. They get posted up on Facebook, on Reddit, on Twitter. I'm going to try to finish up my Josh Allen article tonight. Just continue to ask questions, continue to ask for more knowledge, because that's my job as a physical therapist, to educate people on what's going on, why they want to do things. And regarding the Bills fans, I want to be able to educate people on, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's being reported. This is what this means. Because if you don't have that, then you start making some crazy assumptions, or, it ruins your whole day thinking about, oh my God, Josh Allen could have Tommy John surgery. That's not the case. But this is where you come to me and say, hey, here's what's going on. What's a rational outlook on this? So I appreciate all the support that everybody's been giving me, and I'll continue to produce content as long as people are willing to read it.
Yeah, definitely, Kyle. And like I said, you are now the injury logic correspondent for Numb Bills Fan Podcast. You didn't sign up for it, but you're the one. So congrats, you won nothing. You won wasting your time. So find them on bangedupbills.com and bangedupbills on Twitter and Facebook. And that's really awesome, Kyle. So thank you again. Do you want to give a shout out for your personal Twitter?
I'm on Kyle Trimble 88. I mean, that's my personal Twitter. I'll kind of sometimes put stuff out there, more like PT related things. I could be reached on there too, but yeah, hit me up either way. It's going to my phone. I'm going to get it. So personal Twitter is just, hey, whatever. But
yeah, yours is more actual Bills talk. I think I noticed though, right?
Yeah,
like more opinions.
Yeah, I'll try to be a little more professional.
That's kind of why I figured I would say, like, because I'm kind of in that. I actually reactivated my personal because I'm thinking about even just using a Numb Bills Fan thing. I don't know. I like to have it, but I want to have other people do podcasts by themselves too. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I get you. Yeah, I see what you're doing there. More professional on the Banged Up Bills side. It's tighter.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's been Kyle Thimble. Thank you so much. Did I say it right?
Trimble.
Damn it.
You're good.
All right. Okay, Kyle Trimble from Banged Up Bills.